All right, number 6, discuss and take action on how to proceed with the City of Glen pertaining to emergency services, financial and operational partnership analysis, and Tirz analysis. Troy has sent this over several times. It goes in depth about the Tirz, TIRZ. It goes in depth about figuring out how much services acts inside the city limits. Total cost of the analysis is $63,970. I think there's been a little bit of talk and heartburn and discussion about that. But as Troy had kept asking me, so I told him I'd put it on the agenda so we could talk all about it in open court, and y'all figure out how you want to proceed or don't want to proceed. I don't know.
I'll get up here. I sent an email over to the city and told them that I'm out of this because I've already told them it's illegal and they've sent us over nothing to show that it is legal. We can't set up a Tirz for one in the area that they want. It's not a blighted area. I've told them that. They don't seem to care. Their response is to send us over a list of places where Tirz have been set up in the past, which Tirz are a legal thing that can be done, but the problem is they have not done enough legal research to know that we can't do it in the area that they're requesting it be done in. Plus, what I believe, and I quit doing the research after I figured out we couldn't do it where they wanted, in order for a Tirz to be set up, the municipality has to come in and eminently domain all that property to own it in order to then go in and enter into an agreement with the development company to develop the area that's been set up as a Tirz. So, good luck. How are we going to eminently domain, take the most expensive pieces of property in the city, in the county of Somervell, and set them up in a Tirz? Plus, it's got to be a blighted area in order for a Tirz to be set up legally, which means that there has to be no services provided to that area. It has to be basically a rundown area that otherwise would not develop but for a Tirz being set up. And I don't think when we're at the confluence of 67 and 144, like I said again, the most expensive pieces of property in Somervell County, that legally this would ever happen. And even if you guys tried, we'd be tied up in lawsuits for years over it. Plus the deal, I mean, there's a lot of concerns, but here's the other concern. You guys repeatedly asked the city to do a cost analysis study on how much money the county was spending on law enforcement and fire and EMS inside the city limits. Their response to that was, well, we want to hire this company that by the own letter that they sent us, the company even said we've never been asked to set up anything like this before, but we'll be more than happy to try for however much money that was. They want it done with if a Tirz was set up and developed, what the services would be. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Plus the fact this company that they hired, the guy that owns it, at one point was a city manager in Frisco, and he was either had to resign or was fired because of antics that he was pulling while at the city of Frisco. So you've got a company telling us they've never done a survey like this before, and it's owned by a guy that had to resign from the city of Frisco for, under questionable circumstances. I mean, it's just, none of this makes any sense. And I've repeatedly asked the city, you guys have been here, show us a legal way we can do this, and they've come back with nothing.
Well, and I've asked for that also. I've asked the city manager he's referenced attorneys that he's worked with before in the past that have set up Tirz. And I'm very open-minded to it, first of all, if it's legal. I keep saying that. And I've asked him to bring attorneys in to present to the court to show where it's legal and show how it works and how it will fit our needs and be legal. And I haven't seen that yet. Obviously, none of us have. And I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying we haven't seen it yet. And as far as the study that they're presenting to us by this company, it's only a study in that projected Tirz district. And I had asked, again, myself, and I think the court had agreed that we wanted a county-wide study done, not just in that projected development area. And so to me, it doesn't fit the needs that we had asked that we get to see. Plus, like I said, I'm very open to the economic development plan of moving down to corridor 67. I think it's good for the whole community, for the county, the city, for everybody. Well, we can't do it unless it's legal, and we gotta do it that makes it right and is productive for both groups. But again, it has to be, show me that it's legal, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, and that's what I keep asking them for, and with y'all here, they show us nothing. Plus, we've got another issue of, you know, we met with Helen Kerwin, was that 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah, you and me and Richard and our mayor, Joe Boyles, was in there, and he represented to Helen Kerwin with all of us there that the city had found a company that was going to do a countywide study as you had requested from them, not messing with the Tirz. They had already contacted them and it would be in place in a week, and we have heard literally nothing about that.
And I reiterated that day that it was countywide.
Yes, and he told that directly to Helen Kerwin that that's what the city was doing, and they would have under contract in a week, and there's been nothing.
I don't know. Why,
And there's Helen there.
I don't know why they're paying for a study when we have the data and we have the calls for service. I'm not talking about house watches. I'm talking about actual calls that you can act. I mean, who's going to fib on that? It's a legal document. So why hire somebody to give you what you already have? So, I mean, I don't get it.
Well, I think what Troy wants to hear is if we are willing to move forward or we are not willing to move forward with this proposal from Willdan, Willdan, is that how they say it? Willdan Financial Services, in the amount of $63,970.
And just something else, Judge, that before, personally, I'm ready to commit to this. I would like to interview this company.
Right.
If we even get to that point. And I don't know that we're to that point yet, but if we get to that point, I'd like to interview. Were there bids put out for this or you know, things like that?
Right.
And just kind of see where we are. We're running in the dark right now a little bit, I feel like.
Well, the problem is we keep asking them to provide us legally how they think they can do this. They refuse to do it, but they keep requesting y'all put this back on to be voted on in Commissioner's Court, is what they keep doing.
So currently, am I hearing that the court currently, with what's presented to us now, does not want to move forward with Willdan until there's further research, there's interviews, there's...
Lots of things. That's how I feel, Judge.
So do I have a motion at the current point we're at, with the current presentation from Willdan, we are not willing to move forward with this at this time?
I'll make that motion. So moved.
I have a motion by Jeff. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Richard. Any further questions or comments that I can try to answer? How you doing, Helen?
Good, thank
Sure.
you.
How you doing there, Lonnie? All right. And Michelle, I'll give you a copy of this whole thing so you'll have it for open records.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right. In favor of said motion. All in favor of said motion. That is 4 for, 0 against.